Welcome to Hetero Life Mates, where we unravel current affairs with a twist. I'm Imperial Panda, joined as always by my co-host Tig, exploring everything from everyday issues to the wild world of conspiracy theories. Buckle up for a ride where reality meets the unexpected. Tig, how are you doing?
I'm okay, Panda.
Apart from your your fun Saturday.
My fun Saturday, which consisted of waiting around all day, not being able to do much, because we had a birthday party to go to at a ridiculous time in the afternoon. Which
I mean, to be fair,
people do it?
I mean, to be fair, 4 o'clock is a bit bullshitty. I'm not gonna lie.
I just all birthday parties should start minimum 12 o'clock latest.
Yeah, no, you definitely 12 o'clock on a Saturday is perfectly fine because, you know, I mean, as we all know, come 4 o'clock, that's drink o'clock.
Well, 12 o'clock is drink o'clock in my house, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can put it back sometimes if I need to.
Yeah, whoa, Panda, come on now. That's come on. No, 4 o'clock, that's way too. Do you know what? You won't believe me. However, I have literally just cracked open my first can.
You shut your face.
No, honestly, I swear to God, I was on the Jesus juice last night, and I have. Actually, it was absolutely completely fine. I had no hangover at all. I've deduced that as I am getting older, it isn't so much the quantity of alcohol; it is the amount of sleep I get in between the last alcohol intake. And the waking up in the morning, that's a major factor in how shitty I feel the next morning.
It's incredible, isn't it? Because when you were younger, you go for a whole week, wouldn't you, of just drinking and very little sleep. You know, getting in at 4 o'clock, then going out for lunch and starting again, and it would just roll on for the week like that, and you had no problem.
Yeah, no, it was as easy as anything, wasn't it? And like, and the mere mention of a hangover would make you go, I don't think so. Like that doesn't exist.
What's one of them? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but back to alcohol and its demise on my life.
I'm not sure I want to tell you what I've got this evening, actually, because I'm concerned you might mock me.
Is it a rosé?
No. It is a beer. I just fancy, you know how I'm fond of my unusual beers, and some might call slightly chintzy. I don't know. You won't have to say things like chintzy anymore. I mean, that's bound to have pissed someone off, right?
I don't think a lot of people know what that word means anymore.
No, is that more? That's quite a southern England kind of more in the home counties-esque. Londony type area. Anyway, I'm sure it's pissed someone off, but that, hey, you know, we'll just start knocking them down as we go. Like not physically. Just need to clarify. No. I don't mean like we're going to go out and start beating anyone who says you've pissed me off. I mean like we'll just get them out of the way. Like okay, you're pissed off. Yeah, move on. Anyway, it is a smaller can of beer. However, it is infused with peach, and it's delicious.
Again?
It's infused with peach.
Oh, shut up.
Does it? First one. The next. That's definitely 1-1 now. There's definitely 1-1. If it makes you feel better, I've got it's a pack of 8 because it's Saturday night, and Saturday night in England is the night in which you have at least several beverages, if not more. These ones are peach. The next ones have grapefruit.
Stop talking.
The third one has elderflower. And the fourth one is blood orange.
God.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Anyway, I do like a rather flavorful beer. But anyway, are you partaking of anything this evening, Tig, or are you being a sensible human?
No.
And of course, anybody who knows you knows that it's a completely rhetorical question because we already know the answer. We're just on the standard
Pepsi. Yes. Thank you very much.
Of course, wonderful. But anyway, I have managed to find a couple of great talking points, but I refuse to do my wine first, Tig. So I need to know whether you have come prepared. But given your situation this afternoon of being surrounded by...
See, there you go with your assumptions again.
I'm not assuming anything. I'm just saying I'm going to give you a break. If you didn't manage...
No, you assumed, and you're wrong. So I'd just like to throw that in your face. I
just want to throw this in for you. Hatoli just said alcoholism isn't alcoholism if only Saturday night going to black out. I know she's what they've put. See, I'm off again with gender assumptions. Put jokes, but to be fair, if a one weekly blackout, could that really be considered alcoholism? If
I like that person because it doesn't matter. Look, alcoholism is what's seen in the beholder, in my opinion.
I say alcoholism is completely subjective.
It is completely subjective. What you think is too much, I might think is a tipple.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's opinion-based, isn't it?
Yeah,
the only time I draw the line is when you wake up at 8 o'clock and instead of a cup of tea or coffee, you have a alcoholic drink. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, but what if you put alcohol in your tea or coffee?
Then you're verging on the border of insanity.
Okay. That be clear. If it's an Irish coffee, you're probably okay. It's just you're in a grey area at this point.
You need to start asking yourself some serious questions because then you're making excuses, and that's where the problem starts. So I don't make excuses. I like starting at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And if I've made that decision, then...
At the end of the day, I think that if you start when the pub's legally open to serve you, is that really alcoholism? If we're honest,
some of them started open at 11. Now, again, that is pushing boundaries.
Yeah, that's Christmas morning levels. That is.
Yeah. I mean, people drink mimosas, don't they, on Christmas morning?
Yeah, because I guess if it's classier. Champagne. Yeah, well, I mean, everybody pretty much cracks open like Bucks Fizz.
That's for those Why didn't you correct me then? I just sounded like a white knob.
Well, no, because I don't know what I mean. For what everybody says, I don't actually know what posh people drink on and mimosas sounded quite posh. And I thought, is this a family tradition of Tigs that I am unaware of? That they crack open morning cocktails Christmas morning? Yeah, shaken not stirred.
We have a bucket to start the Christmas festivities.
Yeah, exactly. And for everyone listening who maybe is not familiar with Bucks Fizz, it is essentially champagne and orange juice, isn't it, basically?
Yeah.
But you're talking, what are we talking? I don't know, 10% champagne at best. The rest is orange juice. I mean, you could neck an entire bottle of Bucks Fizz to yourself and not even feel slightly buzzed.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very light alcoholic drink.
Yeah. So much so that we give it to children. But no. Well, no, that's another podcast. We'll move on. No, we don't. We don't give alcohol to children. Don't give alcohol to your children. It's not a good idea.
It really isn't. But hold on, saying that, look, this is the segue. This is going to keep happening. I can feel it. Italy, they do have a glass of wine from quite a young age with their lunch.
They do, and we are actually fortunate enough to have somebody who is very familiar with the Italian... See, yeah, there we go. Right on cue. Tolly, without any prompting, says exactly, yes, we do, at least a sip. So, but I mean, again, this isn't debating morally whether you think it's right or wrong, but like my granddad was very, very big into his wine, and my grandmother actually wrote a book on it's called The Secret Vineyards of France. Go away now and you can figure out. That
was their own vineyards, wasn't it? The ones that you inherited.
Oh, yeah. No, well, it was one of them. We have Californian, Australian, German. Yeah, we have. Yeah, no, we have vineyards. Actually, my last name is actually Gallo. Yeah.
I thought so.
But we also own Barefoot and many other chitty wines. But no, like as a kid, it was not unusual for me at sort of 10 years old to be allowed a small glass of wine with dinner when we went to my granddad's, and I know people would probably scream, no, that's child abuse, you can't do that or whatever. And it's like, but it didn't do, well, actually, no, I'm now a raging alcoholic. So maybe in actual fact, it was a terrible thing.
That's the whole point though, isn't it? Because if you're introduced to anything at a younger age, you don't feel the need to exploit it as you get older. I know people that
100%.
Even for instance, that have said my kid's not allowed to drink Coke because we think it's bad for him. But then later on in life, it was
you're going to find that fucker buzzing up and down the aisle in a supermarket, necking liter bowls. If
you introduce children to things early, then the experience of it is less enticing to them at a later age. Whereas in my case, I was surrounded by alcohol throughout my whole childhood, and it bled over, and now I'm a raging alcoholic.
Well, I was gonna add to that. No, I disagree entirely. I don't think it's got anything to do with our being surrounded by people who drunk alcohol and stuff from a young age. Ours is nothing more than trauma masking. Rather than going to therapy for help for the many issues that we do have, we self-medicate.
Dumb the feelings down by drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like to point out that I don't drink during the week. I would like to point that out, but then I do make up for it the weekend.
And I no longer do either. But yes, no. For those of you on YouTube, yes, we do see the comments. It's just obviously we're only sort of answering questions, really, not sort of general chit chat. But
say we will have a sit chat session at one point.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you do have any questions, throw them in, and we will try our best to elude them.
Exactly. If you actually have something that you want answering, clarifying, general. I mean, we cannot suggest that for a second you actually follow this advice. And
no, definitely don't follow this advice.
No. But
no.
Yeah. So anyway, what is your story of the podcast that you have brought to share with us?
Well, it's not so much a story, but after I come back from said
event, I think we've lost Tiggs. Tig, come back.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're still there.
Okay. Still there. Sorry.
Don't leave me on my own. I don't know how to carry a 2-person podcast on my own.
No, I apologise. It's the connection issues. I will have them resolved. But no, so my it's not so much a story. It's sort of a conspiracy, but it's a very fucking thin one, and I like it because the possibilities of it actually being real.
Hang on,
the only reason I bring it up.
Before you start ranging into your story, because it sounds like it's going to be a good one, we do have Dolly has a question for us to answer. So it says, when I was addicted to Coca-Cola as a child and my parents did ban me from drinking it. So my question is it better to make a child addicted to Coca-Cola or get a sip of alcohol, ensure that they cannot drink it in the future? So that's a difficult one, isn't it? Do you introduce it to them and then say, this is what it's like, but now you can't drink it? Or I guess ultimately it's a tough one because
I think that's more on an individual basis, though, isn't it? Because if you're introduced to it, like if I introduce something to my children and they then excessively want it, then I have to reel it in and be like, listen, it's good, but you have to have it in moderation. So the word no comes into play there, and it's like, you can't have it this time, but you can have it like,
I think that's the problem.
Something like that. It's like the moderation side of things. But as a parent, like if you're a teenager, for example, and you get pocket money and you're going to the shops before you get to school and buying, excessive amounts of Coke, you can't really control that, can you? So
no, I think ultimately that is the real problem, isn't it? Especially like as kids get older. But yeah, this is the problem with giving advice to people, isn't it? It is entirely subjective on the child.
But for example, so if you're saying that you were addicted to Coke because you were introduced to it at an early stage, I don't think that is I think that's more of a addictive personality scenario going on rather than because we gave it to you younger. I would rather let my children experience stuff at an early age so they don't come across it later on in life. And I'm not talking about I'm going to give them a joint and say, go smoke that.
Oh, boo.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying,
some dad you are.
No, you can watch Daddy do it, but no.
To be fair, whenever I hear coke, I always think cocaine. But yeah.
Or apparently he did have cocaine in it at one point. Wasn't
it was, and I'm just gutted now that I didn't grow up in something like the 1920s or something, that the original recipe had cocaine in it or something. I mean, no wonder people were buzzing off their tits saying, yes, give me more of that Coca-Cola.
No, to Tolu's question there, I don't think, because I was experienced alcohol when I was younger. My dad gave me a little stubby can of beer because I thought it tastes like, and I didn't start excessively drinking from that point. I think I was about 9. So,
I was about 9 when I started excessively drinking. Yeah.
I think it's like you said, it's subjective to where you are and who you are and what's going on at the time.
And as well, I think it's all entirely dependent as well upon the circumstance. Like, for example, something might become addictive, like, because I myself have struggled with addiction issues. Nothing like super serious, like not like having to sell my shoes to get, nothing like that. But in terms of, particularly with alcohol, I've had to take steps back on a number of occasions to go, okay, this is getting a bit silly now. Like you mentioned, like drinking in the week, like it's very easy for it to creep into the point where you suddenly realize, oh shit, I'm doing at least 6 cans of beer every night. And although it's not affecting you because you're still working, you're still functioning, you're still fine. It's because I think that's how it can happen with some people. And I do know I do personally have quite an addictive personality, to the point, not where, like I said, I would go down an enormous rabbit hole and not be able to find my way out. But if I don't keep it in check, it can run away with me. That wasn't always the case. That's what I mean. And that's why I'm saying it's also circumstantial, because back when I was sort of, 17, 18, 19, going out with friends, alcohol abuse wasn't an issue. I could happily go out at the weekends and then go to work all week and not touch a drop and be fine and it not bother me in the slightest. But I think, for instance, it's when it's being used for something like one of my very famous famous quotes from, I believe it. I know it's attributed to Johnny Depp. I don't know if he was the original creator of the quote. But that's who it was attributed to. And he said, they asked him once, they said, why do you drink so much? And he said, because we all have things that help ease the pain. And that never rung true with me until I got older and started to experience so much stress and struggle and stuff as you get older.
Well, the thing without going too deep into it, and we can pick it up at a later point, if we get, to where we want to get to. Yeah. But my mum was a full-on alcoholic right up until the day she died, and that's essentially what killed her. It killed her liver. Yeah. Well, she had bowel cancer, but because her liver was so knackered, it took over the liver. And all she was doing, and we didn't find out till she was basically on her deathbed, that she drank every single day, and it was excessive, and it was to bury the pain. And that was all she was doing. And it was at that point when it was like, right, because I needed to work on myself and do some bits and pieces and, sort myself out. And it was at that point where you sort of like, you don't realise you're doing it until something happens, or like you hear what Johnny Depp said and it affected you, and, what I saw happen with my mum. And it does really change the thought process. Like I love having a beer. I really do. But I'm now self-aware that I love having a beer because it's chilling, it's relaxing, it's not masking or covering anything. I just genuinely like having a beer.
Well, lucky you. because my is definitely masking trauma and pain. So,
well, we need to have a chat about that after the podcast.
No, we don't. I'm fine. Anyway,
we're gonna delve deep into Panda's psyche.
No, let's move on. But no, Razor, no, trust me, we're not ignoring you. But yes, you're right. Some kids will have it and enjoy it and love it, and other kids will try it and say, fucking no way, and won't touch it again. But so no, it's a very valid point. Now, Tig, what was your story or whatever? What were you bringing to the show today?
No, if it's too early to do it, to be honest.
Is it your conspiracy theory or just your chat?
No, my conspiracy.
Oh, okay, right, okay. No, so I mean, did you have any kind of light-hearted news to discuss?
Oh, okay. I thought we were going in early.
No, yeah, no. It's just because I found a news article that I was quite, I say, excited to share. I just thought I wanted to gauge everyone's opinion on it.
Well, you go first then, because my ones, I've got two, and they're a bit in depth. So you go first, and let's talk about your
righty dokey, because we have just had a bit of a heavy discussion on
and
alcohol.
I do apologise, but we went straight in there.
No, that's the point. So I'll Hey, hi Sam, I have seen you. So my story is that in Starbucks in China have introduced a pork latte.
I'm going to say here, Panda, there is a very heavily Asian theme coming from you at the moment.
Yeah, there is, isn't there?
We had naked Japanese men, and now we've got Starbucks in China.
So of course, no, do you know, I hadn't even drawn that conclusion. You're right, yes, I am very sort of Eastern based, but I mean, I am also a panda.
We're coming in, you know, I'm just putting it out there early so it doesn't get picked up later.
Asian panda, it's topographical, obviously. Yeah, I can see comments in chat like pork. No, seriously, it is a pork flavored latte, right? And it has a piece of pork, literally a piece of pork on a skewer dipped in the top. And
what the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I had to, when I first saw this, I was like, oh shit, thank you. See, Sam's in the chat. He has seen this article himself. He knows I'm not lying. I saw it and I was, you know when you sit there and you look at something and you go, bullshit. No, it's fucking genuine.
It
is.
Okay, explain it. And do you know where the thought process come from?
I think it's just to celebrate Lunar Year. But hang on, let me just what we need to do moving forward is I need to be able to sort of share my screen with the rest of the chat and stuff. But look, see, that's Scotsman. Let's go to a more. I mean, CNN and Daily Mail, are they really that reputable? But still, pork flavored coffee. It's in Hong Kong and it's got braised pork. Okay, right. So this is part of the article on CNN Business. Starbucks is betting on the unusual combination with a new drink released in China to mark the Lunar New Year, dubbed the Abundant Year Savory Latte. Oh, actually, I think is that yes, you did. Yeah, that Sam mentioned it in chat already. The brand describes it as having an interesting flavor. Yeah, no shit. It's fucking your coffee latte is going to taste like sausages. On top of that, to add insult to injury, it's 68 Juan. I think it's Juan. Is it China Juan? Anyway, no, Juan is a Mexican guy. See, that's another one we've knocked off. That's definitely going to have pissed someone off. You racist bastard. The drink is priced at 68 Juan, $9.45. Almost $10 for a sausage latte. Oh, why? I mean, clearly it's drinking. People are drinking it. Tiggs, I think we've lost you again, buddy. I was more amazed by how Asians can come out with every flavour of drink. That I know, right? I know. And is a pork latte really going to sell that well?
If you look at some stalls, like they come up with these random food stalls. They eat everything over there.
Yeah, well, I loved. I
intestine and stomach and balls and everything.
Well, I think I was watching. I can't remember what program I was watching, but it was a program on Asian cuisine. I think it was on NHK World. For all of those you familiar, NHK World is a Japanese state-run news channel, so you probably shouldn't really pay much attention to any of the news that comes out of it. However, they do fantastic. They do fantastic. They do fantastic programs on sort of Japanese culture, Japanese history, things like that. And but they cover all of Asia as well. And they said that in China they will eat anything with 4 legs except for the table and chairs. And I thought, yeah, that seems pretty right, because if you look, they're going through this Chinese market, and you literally everything. You want a snake? You want a deep fat fried snake head on a stick? Gotcha. No worries. Come over here. You can have it in multiple flavors. You want to eat a pig's toenail? No worries. We've got a bag of them. Eat them like crisps. Exactly. That's what he said. Everything is edible if it's breathing. Exactly. That's pretty much how the Chinese function. But like a pork latte. No, those two substances that should never be mixed: coffee and pork. I mean, then again, though, pork cooked in coffee may actually be pretty good, believe it or not. Referring back to the Coca-Cola situation, if you boil gammon in Coca-Cola, it's delicious. It is delicious.
All of you, Sunday roast tomorrow.
Exactly. Go get yourself a gammon and about 2 liters of Coke, and boy, it's fucking. My missus did it once, and it is one of the most delicious things you'll ever eat, and you would never have assumed, would you? So actually, I'm going to retract my previous statement and say that I'm booking a flight to China, and I'll let you know how the pork latte tastes.
It'll be over here soon. If it's over there, it'll be over here.
Can you imagine if they released a pork latte in London? I mean, to be fair, you'd get all the hipsters going, oh my God, this is quite frankly one of the... hey, third person we've pissed off this podcast. Hipsters. Yep. But to be fair, no one gives a shit.
I'm going to do it again.
Yeah. Nobody... Go and angrily... Yeah, exactly. Go and angrily roll up your jeans over in the corner there and wax your mustache. Okay, shut up. But, apart from like the hipsters who are gonna be like, oh yes, this is quite frankly one of the greatest coffee miracles of the last age, who would drink that here? Like, honestly.
To be fair, I do like a bit of pork.
Yeah, but in your coffee?
I do like coffee. I've never tried both.
Yeah, maybe I'm exactly. Every Insta person is a hipster. Maybe I'm overlooking this, overthinking this. Maybe this would be one of the greatest combinations ever.
We all like a bit of bacon. We all like our coffee. You'd have them separately.
That's true, and we've all had a bacon sandwich with a coffee.
There you go.
Yeah, so clearly
bacon sandwich with a coffee.
That's true. So clearly the two concepts don't bump, do they? So yeah, okay. Consider me
your whole rant invalid.
Consider me converted. I apologize, Starbucks China. You clearly are onto a winner here. And please, I'll tell you what, if they do bring it over to the UK, I will buy one and drink it on podcast and let everyone know what I think of it.
I'm going to make you a pork skewered coffee.
But the problem is I'm concerned you're just going to give me like a glass of Nescafe with a sausage in.
Yeah.
Just for everyone, Nescafe in the UK is like pretty much the shitty instant coffee. But it was all the rage when we were kids, when like everybody had Nescafe.
I will just point out now to everyone who's listening, I like Nescafe, but every time I go to Panda's house, he has this posh little strainer that he has this posh coffee that he pushes down into
fresh
my
coffee.
It tastes the same, doesn't it?
No, bastard.
Yes, it does. You might as well write Nescafe.
Oh, right. Well, I'm going to go and buy it.
That you've got.
I'm going to go and buy a cheap jar of instant coffee and keep it in the cupboard just for. You don't want my fancy coffee? Fine. That's fine. No, I'm not offended. No, fine. Whatever. Podcast over. Never to be resumed ever again.
I didn't want to bring it up, but now we're being live and public. I thought I'd just rub it in that your coffee tastes the same as instant brown Nescafe.
Bastardo! I am offended on so many levels. I put love, care, and attention into your coffees when you come down. It's fine. Don't.
Yeah, I know. And I stand there watching you make it instead of just putting it in the fucking cup.
Right, yeah. No more fresh coffee for you then. That's fine. That's fine. No, that's fine. No, that's fine.
Bring my own. You can have your posh coffee.
We've had our first on-air fight. Headlines: Panda's coffee is shit. Fine, whatever. Well, anyway,
hold on. I didn't say it was shit. I said it just tasted the same.
Oh, you can so tell that we come from different backgrounds.
Yes, I'm the pikey chav and you're the posh kid.
pikey chav. When did you get
I don't know. Pikey chav.
Were you a chav?
I was very much a chav. I don't like to admit this, but yes, I wore the baseball cap with the bent beak and collar up. And always in sportswear.
Let me guess, you had some amount of Burberry on.
No, never Burberry. No, they're not
Burberry. You weren't that. You weren't that.
Burberry. No, Burberry. No, see, Chav was a recognition, like a status.
Chav was a way of life, man.
Burberry wearers were just wankers.
Right. They were wannabe Chavs. Gotcha.
They were wannabe Chavs. Chavs, you had to. I was an original, like an OG Chav. I'm what they based Chav on, like, you know.
Right. I like that. You were fucking patient zero for Chavs.
I was patient zero. If you could imagine what a Chav looks like, that's how I started. But bear in mind, Chav didn't come out until we were older, and I was already being a Chav. So OG, you know, with the poppers, the Adidas poppers.
Yeah. Let me guess, you had a Feeler t-shirt as well.
Feeler, yeah.
All
the knockoff stuff from the market. None of the like pricey stuff, but it was all the knockoff from the market. My Adidas had 4 stripes.
Yeah, your Nike Tick was more of a sort of cross hatch.
Well, it was more upside down.
Yeah. Oh dear. Well, I can see actually we've gone long in this one already. So, do you want to kick off with your? We'll do conspiracy theory of the week.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
So basically, when I got back, obviously, I mentioned before I got rudely cut off and told where I was at the wrong segment of the show. Yes, that was a little dig.
You came fucking claws out tonight, didn't you? You did say you'd had a shitty day. It's fine. I'll be your punching bag, darling. It's fine. It's no biggie. It's fine.
And that's why I love you. Shut up and
okay. I will. I'll be quiet.
Matrix, right? So, is it right? Okay. Are we in the Matrix? Blah, blah, blah. I saw you've heard of Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah,
the very famous astrophysicist, sure.
Indeed. And he comes up with some brilliant ideas. You know, he when people ask him random questions, he comes up with these brilliant answers, and I just love watching him. So it's kind of in line with the Matrix, and it basically was talking about it could be a simulation that we're in, but where he took it, and I can't remember exactly what the phrase or the response was, but it's essentially a matrix within a matrix within a matrix within a matrix, and so on. It just keeps going.
I think I saw this myself. He was essentially talking about, if I remember correctly, if we were on about the same one, it was about who's observing the observer, observing the observer.
Exactly, that's it. That's the one. Yeah. So how far would that go? Because if we are in a matrix, then surely that creator of our said matrix would be in their own matrix. And how far would it go?
It's the same thing, isn't it, about religion, essentially. It's with gods. It's the same principles, isn't it? Is that you would need sort of an ever-expanding Russian doll universes or gods. Exactly. You would just keep taking one Russian doll out of the other, and you would keep going forever and infinity. I think it is an interesting thought experiment, because obviously that's the main issue. We don't ultimately know what is cracking on. I mean, we've got a pretty good idea, haven't we, that there isn't a God. I mean, for those of us who are atheistic, that is fairly certain to us, but then again, it is also fairly certain to those who are religious. By the way, again, should clarify this, neither me nor Tiggs have any opinion about whether you should or should not believe the way you do. You believe in God, that's your business, and that's all good for you, and wish you the very best. This is just our opinion.
We appreciate your belief.
Yeah, exactly. And as we were discussing this, when we were discussing the podcast, actually, before we filmed it, we will march carrying shitty placards to defend your right to believe in what you want to believe in. Just don't try and tell us that what we believe is wrong. I'm not gonna tell somebody you're wrong, Jesus isn't real, or God isn't real, whatever. I'm just saying that these are the reasons why I don't believe. And I know you think that means I'm going to hell, but as far as I'm concerned, that's where I'd rather go, because that's where the cocaine and the hookers are.
Just piss off a few more people. Let's go.
Yeah, exactly. We'll make it a party. It's fine. But it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because we don't know. And I think that is a great thought experiment of his. Like, how far along the lines do you go?
Where do you stop? That's the thing. It's where do you stop? And the problem is, us as human beings, we like to have a conclusion, don't we? We like to have a penultimate, a ending, a this is it kind of scenario. Whereas with that thought, you just can't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why space freaks a lot of people out, because no one knows where space ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it doesn't get to a wall and then start again, or does it? We just don't know. It's infinite. And that scares a lot of people.
It's difficult for us because we are finite beings. We have a beginning and we have an end.
I can't wait for my ending. I'm going to be really dramatic at my ending.
Yeah, I want to make it as messy and as loud as possible. Anyway.
I've already decided I'm going to make a video at my funeral, and I'm going to pop up and scare the shit out of everyone.
We have a plan, don't we? If one of us goes before the other, we're going to take each other's phones, and we're going to text loved ones and stuff from their phone and really fucking freak people out.
Let me out. I'm not really dead.
Exactly. Yeah. Fuck, it's cold and dark in here. Something along those lines. Or, I can't believe
the fire on. I'm not ready.
Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing. Yeah. So anyway, we thought it'd be funny.
But yeah, that was my thought of the week. It was it's one of those you could really get lost into it, because you can't find a conclusion to it. And I know that fucks a lot of people up, because, like I said, people need to have a conclusion. But when you think about, if we are in a simulation and this is all being forced, not when it is being forced upon us, because if we are in a scenario like a simulation, then everything that's happening in the world gets input by someone else, and we're having to suffer for it. How you'd have to be some really messed up person or being to want to inflict that much misery on another race. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, Well, quickly before we go to. I agree with this is an eensy weensy bit deep, so I think we should probably cut after this and move on to the next subject. But there was in I can't remember which concentration camp it was, but a Jewish prisoner wrote on the wall of the concentration camp, if God exists, he's going to have to beg for my forgiveness.
Yeah.
And I think there's that, understandably, we all understand and know why that person wrote that. Of course we do. Horrific, terrible war crimes were committed and atrocious acts were done to people, and so of course he had every right to feel like that. But I think you can apply that sentiment to many parts of life. There's many people that are living life and they're not really realistically doing anything wrong. They're just trying to live, and everything is just shit for them.
Yeah.
And if there isn't an omnipotent being, I agree. They're going to have to beg for your forgiveness. But anyway, that's my 2 cents worth on that one. Jesus, I'm not even drunk. What's going on?
I know, this is getting deep, isn't it? We need to
move on. Right, okay. So my conspiracy theory of the week is, and like I said, I think we could agree on this one.
I'm not really high pitched again.
Sorry, I was getting excited.
I know you were. Bring it down.
When Panda gets excited, Panda's voice flies up. It's like somebody's grabbing my testicles. Really? No. Anyway, moving on. So the conspiracy theory is, which I find holds some validity and weight. However, it is possible to disprove, but you can go down a deeper rabbit hole. But my conspiracy theory is that in actual fact, excuse me, the ship that sunk was not in fact the Titanic, but its sister ship, the Olympic. Okay, and the reasoning for this is because the Olympic was designed and built first. It was ship 400 of the shipyard. Titanic was supposedly ship 401, and just before the Titanic was due to be finished and set sail, not long before.
It had a malfunction, didn't it?
It had a collision which punched a hole in the side of the ship, right? And it was going to be grotesquely expensive to repair the Olympic or the Olympus. I'm sorry, I forget. We're too far in for me to, but you can double check the name. And so what they did is they actually switched the names of the ships and sent the Olympus or the Olympic out on that sea voyage, knowing full well that it was very likely it would sink.
No, right. I thought they were similar, but they're not similar. That was a different one that I read. So I'll take my statement back, but carry on.
Yeah, so anyway, the one of the debunked theories is, well, every part on the ships is numbered and blah-de-blah-de-blah and everything. Sure, no, gotcha, fine. I'm sure you're probably right. And it is probably not true. However, I always think to myself, but if there was this much money involved, and there was, you're not talking about a couple quid, you're talking about millions, and this is back in 1913 that there was millions. Surely some paperwork could quite easily be fudged to switch the shipyard numbers around in the office. To say, oh, well, the Olympus was 400.
It was all handwritten, wasn't it? So you could just easily knock up a new one.
Yeah, it isn't like today where we have digital chains of custody where
that would mean that the Titanic would still, well, not now obviously, but that means the Titanic would have done its travels around the world. Actually was the unsinkable ship because it carried on.
Yeah, exactly. That theoretically the ship that was going round and continued as the Olympus or the Olympic was actually the Titanic. But yeah, so I thought that was a good one, and one that I felt had at least some traction to it. It was a conspiracy theory that made some sense. I can see in the chat Tolly's got, oh, that theory, yeah, exactly. I think it's better known than I realized. The sister ship Olympic wasn't retired before the Titanic. Well, yeah, this is what I mean. If you dig into it, there's different accounts from what I could see. It's just, I thought it was a good one.
The best phrase from that film, I love the Titanic, by the way. I've seen it millions of times. But the best phrase from that was from one of the sailors when the ship was going down and they had the women and children on the lifeboat, and she was like, "Let's go back for them. They're dying out there." And he was like, "If you don't shut that hole in your face."
Yeah, a bit of female aggression, Tig. Why not?
I don't know what. No, it's not. I agree with her. They should have gone back because they weren't filling them lifeboats up to their max capacity.
No, of course not. Well, we know that. We know that now, don't we? Yes, I know it's been debunked, Sam. I know. I was just saying. I think it was a good conspiracy theory. Can't you let a panda dream? Somewhere Leonardo and Kate are still happy on the Titanic, okay? It didn't really happen. Yeah, no, and I mean we should probably discuss the whole floating door scene. I mean,
he could have moved over. Fact. He could have. There was enough room on that door. 100%. I don't want to hear anyone else's comment.
Totally, 100%. They could have. They could have got on the. They could have got on the door together. But whatever. It's fine. She didn't want to share. She was rich after all. Probably wasn't used to sharing. So.
It's pretty much what would happen in our situation, wouldn't it? Your fat ass would take over the door, and you'd leave me to freeze.
You really did. You really come all guns blazing tonight, didn't you?
Well, listen,
have I hurt you?
You're making it very clear that we're from different classes. I would have died in the bowels of the ship while you were getting saved on the lifeboat.
Oh yeah, no, I'd have been the guy with the mustache who jumped on the boat, and yeah, no, totally would have survived without a shadow of a doubt. But
and the rest of your life in guilt, knowing that your best mate died in a freezing ocean.
No, do you know what I'd have done? I'd have kicked my fucking slippers off, slept back in my chair and enjoyed one of my nice coffees. And said, well, I guess he doesn't have to put up with my shitty coffee anymore.
Yeah, sounds great. I'm not coming to your house anymore.
Liar.
I'll see you Monday.
So, I thought that was, I thought that was a good one.
I do like that. I'm going to have a look into that. Although Sam says it was debunked, I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it has been pretty much thoroughly and quite unequivocally debunked.
By who?
Like everyone.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. No, I mean, you can certainly look into it. I thought it was a good one anyway. It was a good one to pass the time, sort of thing. But yeah. Anyway, I thought because we pretty much agreed on it. There wasn't any. No, come on. It was So
no, because you said it was debunked, so I can't really argue with it, can I?
Well, you can do.
All right. Well, it's not true then. It isn't debunked, and I'm going to prove it all.
Yeah, we're gonna fucking prove it. This is now becoming the Titanic was a lie podcast. Yeah. And we're gonna go out and we're gonna.
One thought on that Titanic when he says in the film, if for those of you who haven't seen it, when the ship starts going down, the chap who was in charge of building the ship and the lifeboat.
Yeah,
runs around and it's like you're saying he said to everyone, you're only filling the lifeboat's half full. They can take a lot more people. And you'd probably look at the guy and say, well, actually, you told us this ship was unsinkable, and now you're telling me to put more people in a smaller boat and send them out into the freezing cold ocean. Am I going to believe you? Probably not.
No.
So.
Yeah, what do you actually know? But no, Sam, I think we are actually, yes, Tolly's right. We did talk briefly about flat earthers last week, but I think we definitely need to do a more in-depth flat earther podcast. Just for anything, just for the pure shizzies and gizzies. Sam, we probably will cover COVID at some point. That's yeah.
Look, don't get us cancelled, but yeah, we can. I've got a lot to say on COVID. A lot.
Yeah.
And as Panda knows, there's a lot on my mind about COVID.
One of us sits on one side of the fence on that one, and the other is miles high in his tinfoil balloon.
That you'll definitely hear an argument on that one.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, no, well, maybe, but yeah, we'll definitely be covering that one.
That might save you, Panda, because if one of us agrees and one of us disagrees, then we can't be cancelled, can we?
No, that is
one
true.
Of us can be cancelled, and the other one will survive. So we'll find out who that is.
That's pretty much the point of this podcast anyway, but don't encourage him, Sam. So yeah, we'll definitely go. Maybe that is one of the things. Maybe we should do this rather than bringing different smaller conspiracy theory. I mean, I know there's lots of conspiracy theory podcasts out there. However, ours is a different flavor because we don't just deal solely with it. We also have a bit of a chinwag and a general, we cover all sorts of things, but we do like to sort of do a segment towards the end where we do cover. So maybe that's what we should do, Tiggs. Maybe we should debate one larger one.
Yeah.
And maybe that would
end it.
Exactly. Yeah, Tony said into the rabbit hole we go. Yeah, maybe we'll do a half and half. We'll do half an hour of chit chat covering sort of some funny, news, pork latte, that sort of thing, and then move on to conspiracy theories. But you see, so I just want to Sam says I'm actually a fucking biotechnology student and I shouldn't be saying this. Now the question is Sam saying I shouldn't be saying this because he knows secrets or because he knows it's not possible? That is for another podcast. And
Sam, you just let yourself into the rabbit hole.
Yeah, we're dragging you down with us, Sam. But anyway, I think that's pretty much, unless you've got something else that you want to add in, Tiggs, you want to talk about, or you got to, you're itching to say.
No. Well, no, there's a lot that I want to say, because I just want to point out that when me and Panda have our rants, we are going on until silly o'clock in the morning.
That's why I am making sure.
Exactly. For the sake of you guys listening, it's more of a let's wrap it up.
I am doing my very. I think what we'll do, because obviously we've got to think big, haven't we, Tiggs? And I think what we're going to do, I'm going to keep an eye on time and stuff and make sure that we kind of stick to a general sort of hour-long recording session for the main podcast. But obviously, once we are a big podcast, which we undoubtedly will be, then we will definitely, for our Patreon subscribers, people like that, we will do an extended one of maybe, I don't know, say 2 hours, where we will really go into deep into some theories. Can we talk about Furby too? Yes, I'm intrigued now. You need to send me some information on this, Tolly. Furby's involved in a conspiracy theory?
Yeah, they were, well, from what I understand. No, I'll save it.
Yeah, save it.
I like these interactions. Give us more. Anything that you want.
We'll cover. Yeah, we'll cover. Me and Tiggs will obviously discuss this off air, and we'll decide each week which one we're going to tackle. I think we should ease into things before we hit the COVID one, Tig.
Yeah, it's very divisive, the COVID.
Yeah. About the only other subject that we could hit that is equally as divisive is Brexit. But maybe that could be quite a fun one as well, actually, doing Brexit conspiracy theories, because of course they are 10 a fucking penny as well.
I think with Brexit, it's either you agree or you don't, and there's a lot in between that.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't. Yeah, okay, we'll do it on one. We will.
We'll do it anyway. But anyway, so that's pretty much we've done it again, Tig. We've got it, and we've got 2 in the pocket now. So we will be releasing them. I don't know the actual release schedule yet. We'll work that one out. But we've got 2 which will be edited up and put out now. But we'll be recording again next Friday, and maybe we'll probably chuck in Saturdays here and there, so we make sure that we've got a decent amount to fall back on should life ruin things and we can't get on a Friday or whatever. But that's good. So I'm definitely going to go away and look at the Furby thing. But anyway, do you want to see us out, Tig?
It was great to have you all listening, and you know what? Thank you is all I can say at the moment.
Absolutely perfect. And I meant what I said earlier when I texted you. You did smash it. I was listening to it, and you were fucking brilliant. And you're gonna be brilliant, and we're gonna absolutely crush this. But fantastic. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you next week. Peace.